Hello guys, welcome back. For today I have kind of like a new leader. That's like the thing, trying to get some different leaders in here, some different deck list. And yeah, for today I have the Enel. I'm trying to make the videos a little bit more shorter because the first one was nearly 1 hour, the second one kind of like 50 minutes. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of long maybe. So I probably get like maybe 30 minutes, something like this, maybe a little bit shorter. I mean, 20 minutes would be really cool, but I think 20 minutes is kind of unrealistic, especially if you want to show some gameplays with not always 2 times speed and maybe talking a little bit about it. But yeah, anyways, for today we have the leader Enel. And yeah, this is kind of like the deck list I chose. It's like also from the top deck lists. I choose one of the newer ones from the NL players. I think NL is also kind of like a meta deck, kind of. Not maybe the strongest, but still, I feel like NL is always kind of good, especially at the moment where we have a lot of strong yellow cards. Like Ace is not as new, it's some OP07, but still kind of like a strong addition, and also kind of like Nami and Luffy is really strong. So yeah, I feel like this is the deck list we want to play today with. A lot of high cost characters, as you can see, like 10, 9, 8, there are a lot of different ones. And also kind of like the win con, like we want to skip the early game, get as fast as we can into the late game, and then yeah, get a more detailed into the strong characters hitting really hard, sometimes KOing something, but in general getting a big hand. This is what we like to do. But yeah, let's dive into the gameplays. And let me adjust my camera for a second. Maybe a little smaller. Yeah, like this, perfect. Okay, and speed into 2x, and maybe also like this. Okay, so as I think we going, yeah, we can choose. So we choose to go second. You can also go first with Enel, but it depends a little bit on what cards you're playing, what is the idea behind your deck. As you can see, we have a lot of 5 cost. And this is probably also a reason why you could go first, because you have a lot of 5 costs which are really strong and nice to play. But I feel like, especially for the bigger ones, also you have the 9 cost Yamato, which is also kind of strong and odd number. So I feel like you can also go first, but I feel like in general going second is a little nicer. Yeah, we use the Flampe, which is kind of nice because we can draw a card and also getting a card from our life. We want to lose life cards. He's attacking into us, we take this one. We're attacking first into life, always make sure to attack first with the leader if you don't want to use it. Taking the advantage out of our Flampe, so getting into 5 hits as well. And it's kind of funny because he takes it, so he already lost 2 lives, which is kind of fine, I would guess. We take the second hit as well, so we are just down to 1 life. He plays just a Sangoro, which is kind of sad because usually with the Luffy deck, with the purple Luffy, you wanna use the combo. Luffy Taro, I think, from the structure deck from the new one, and cheat out the Sangoro as well. But yeah, if you are not first turn and you're having like the odd numbers, if you have the even numbers, then it's kind of hard to get into this because you have to wait until turn 8, obviously. Turn 8 until 8 done, and yeah, this is sometimes then a little problematic. So yeah, he needs to find a solution as well, play something, so he chooses the Sangoro, which is also nice, draw a card, always good. And you can see how big our hand size is. So we can afford to play the Nami and not drawing a card. You need to have 3 cards or less in your hand to draw a card from her effect. So we just KO And he's playing another Sangoro, so he definitely don't have any Luffy Taro. So yeah, going into live, and I don't know why we don't go in live with Enel. Maybe a slightly misplay. Yeah, we could have done this as well beforehand. Maybe we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it now. We just want to play out the blocker. I mean, it's fine as well. I am a big fan of the blocker. Not everybody likes the blocker so much in NL, because only if it's KO'd by effect, you can get a card into your life. But it's like really strong. Like you have a blocker for 2k, for 2 cost and 2 don, and yeah, if it's KO'd, a lot of deck KOing nowadays, especially like the smaller characters, 0 attack is really not that strong, so nearly everything can KO it. Yeah, it's kind of nice that you get a card into your life for this, and as well a blocker if you really need it. And now, we're playing the Nami again, same idea, KOing the Sangoro. He got no advantage in the 2 turns. This is also kind of like a disadvantage of the Luffy Taro. If you're not going the odd numbers, if you go on an even curve, you kind of have a problem. He's playing another Sanji, so it's like, it seems like he maybe bricked a little. I don't also know why he's not using his ramp up. Maybe now he don't need it anymore. Maybe he could have used it beforehand in his 8 don turn to maybe getting into the Luffy or into a law, maybe for searching power. Because if he had 8 dons and Luffy Taro, I think he needs only 7. Then you can use the law for 1 don search and then play the other one as well. As you can see, we don't have much high cost characters. We only have the Yamato, which is not the best, especially if we're going on an even curve. It's kind of sad. Would have been better if we have the ace here. Yeah, so we start to go into live. Yeah, I did a slight mistake. I thought you can use the Yamato at a live and then KOing one, but it's the other way around. You first need to KO, so make sure you have enough card in live. This was also better. We attacked first. We could have KO'd someone, and yeah, then attack. Anyways, he's playing the 8 cost Linden, really strong. Yeah, what happened here? He can trash 1 card. Yeah, minus don, trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from your deck to the top life, then place up to 1 of your opponent's character with a cost of 6 or less. So yeah, he chooses the Nami to play at the bottom of our life, and then the 4 cost here, the purple one, has a really difficult name. He is KOing our blocker, and as we can see, we're getting the extra life. And this one is a really strong card. He attacks us into life. Of course, we're taking it. We are playing Enel, so we have a lot of triggers. We take the life for sure. And we get one of our strongest triggers, Shirahoshi. Not a blocker one. We're drawing 3 cards and discarding 2, so we're getting technically 1 card plus, and have to discard 2. And as you can see, here's the Luffy Toro, which he wanted to have more earlier, which you always want to have more earlier, especially with the Sanji, and cheating it out on the odd turn, yeah, and like on 7 or on 8. And yeah, he could have used the Law and Luffy then as well. So yeah, we have to discard 2. We probably take the Gidatsu. It's kind of strong card, but we don't need it anymore. It's more like an early game card, especially because he needs to have your own life kind of high, so you can KO with a cost even to your own lives or less. So now we get the Katakuri, kind of strong card. I like it a lot, especially in Enel. You can put a card into your own life or into your enemy's life. The only thing, maybe I will do a mistake later as well. You can only put an 8 cost or lower into the life, which is still kind of strong card for sure, but and also kind of unique. There are not many cards can do like this, or have an effect like this. Okay, we're trying to KO his board. He's using the Gangnam Giant, which is kind of fine, I would guess. So we're thinking about taking the Katakuri. and which we should put in life. We take the Sangoro because he can always draw a card when he's attacking, so a lot of benefits for him. Especially in a lot of turns, he getting a lot of cards, so better not to give him some extra cards. He trying to KO our Yamato, but we will not give it to him because we need a kind of like a bigger board, getting like a want to go a little wider, putting some pressure on his turn. Now he's playing the Luffy Toro and the Zoro Juyo. Kind of nice, a Searcher, 6k. Damage is also kind of strong for 4 cost, really not a bad card, actually kind of strong card. He's KOing our Shirahoshi again, we get another life. Really nice, we get a Raigo, also really strong for high cost characters, and finally our ace. Having one life, one card in life is also nice. So now we want to KO something with our Raigo, I think. Because we cannot KO attack the active characters like Luffy and Zoro. So we're trying to get some cards out of his hand. That's why we attacked with Enel first and getting with Katakuri, using the Raigo, KOing his Luffy Toro. And now we are kind of like in a strong position. Because he actually don't have so much cards in hand, cards on board. He has a lot of cards in life, 4 lives, not bad. But especially with such a big board we already kind of have, it's really hard for him to come back. He's playing the Sanji, probably going into life, I don't know. He don't have any dons, so yeah, he could only attack Shirahoshi and he gets no benefit from it. So we're using the effect from Nami to KO this Zoro Juro. Now we have to discard one, we discard the Yamato. Yeah. We are countering out because the last life, if we take it, then it's kind of hard for Enel to get the life back. So always trying to keep the last life in here. We have a lot of the 3k counters, which is really nice. KOing his board because he will... yeah. So we are kind of safe in a certain way because we always have to discard a card, so we cannot use all 3 of them. Maybe if we take the life, but then we have to discard one, so yeah. Maybe only with the Shirahoshi trigger. But anyways, he gives up because, yeah, our board is kind of strong. We still have a card in life. He can not build up a big board at this moment. Even if he could, we can KO it again or attack. Maybe he gave up a little early. He could have played it at least 1 or 2 turns more, but yeah, he was really in a bad position, and yeah, as it seems we have 5 lives, he couldn't know that we have only triggers, but not triggers, counters, but for sure he knew that we have some high characters, and especially with the ace getting another life, rush, it was a little too much for him. That's here you can see really the big disadvantage of Luffy if he's not going first, and the big advantage of Enel if you're not putting enough pressure in the early game. So that was the first game. I have 3 games today for us, and we're going into 2 speed, and let's go into the game again. We mulligan. It was really not a strong hand, as we can see. Maybe pause for a second. Yeah, no early game, a lot of late game cards, kind of mid cards, like depending on the board of the enemy. So we could have taken, we could have pulled it, but I felt like maybe trying again, getting a Flampe, which was really nice in the early game. Anyways, we didn't got it, kind of sad. Okay, we're playing against Reiju, really strong character in the early game, really pushy, really forward. He got the stage, which is really strong, and especially in the early game, you always want to see this card when you playing Reiju from turn 1. And then you can see he bust out the biggest combo for Reiju, playing the 3-cost Foxy Pirate Porsche. And then sheet out the Ichiji, returning 1 Don, playing the big Ichiji, and just having in turn 3 a 7k character on board, which has already rush, which is really strong. Also here to note, as you can see, like you can play him, put him back, play him, and you can attack directly. I thought before that you cannot gain the rush if you don't give somebody 2000 minus, which is his second effect. So I thought you need to do 2000 minus to gain the rush, but actually you don't need to. You can just go directly and gain the rush, which is also kind of strong. So now he's pushing really hard into our life. We take it. 7k is always a bad number to counter out. Always costs 2 cards. So yeah, we're trying to go into Ichiji. If we would go in live, he would take it for sure. We're playing out a blocker, hoping that we can at least survive a little of time. He got a really strong start. We take the 5k. We block the 5k, we gain the Ichiji, and now another Ichiji. This is he getting the strong combo again. Is like already you can see like our board, our life is gone. We don't have any on the board. He has 2 7ks, 2 5ks. This is a really bad situation for us. Like it's like nearly we don't have any chance at this point. Yeah, kind of unlucky at this moment. So yeah, we need to find a way to get rid of 2 5ks and 2 7ks. It seems like impossible. We're going into Porsche. He counters out really aggressively. He knows that he can gain life cards, that he gains hand cards for sure really quick. We're at least KOing 1 5k, so 1 hit less. And yeah, because we are on the normal curve and Luffy costs 5k, we cannot play the blocker. Okay, we need to block out, we need to counter out. We take 1 life, trash the Gedatsu and get another life, and yeah, now we need to use the counter, otherwise we would go into 0 lives, which is kind of bad. He's playing out the Reiju and drawing 3 cards. Like at this moment is kind of, yeah, we have a big problem at this moment. We're playing the Katakuri. We're already at the 8th turn, finally pushing it into life, so we get rid of it, which is really strong at this moment. Using the Katakuri to push the Ichiji in life, because he can play the small Ichiji, the 4 cost, and take it from his trash. But if you push it in life, especially at the bottom, he cannot use it again, and it's really unlikely that he have 4 of them. Could be. I mean, he still has 2, so at least he got 2, so maybe he has 3, but just in case we are trying to do it again. Or not again, we're trying to do it for sure. Yeah, he's using the stage really actively, of course, trying to draw into more aggressive cards, and yeah, just going straight into life. And we cannot do anything about it. We're trashing the Shirahoshi because at this point we definitely need all cards that we can get. He's playing another Porsche. He got 3 in a row, which is really strong. He's playing the Maria with the Porsche. I didn't even know that you can cheat it out with the Porsche. And yeah, at this point he has too much Don. He used to give all of his Don back to his Don deck with his extra characters, and now with the Black Maria he get all of them back. Really strong card. You gain, I think, 5 Don rested, and at the end you have to put as many Don cards back to your life as your opponent has, I think. So yeah, really strong card at this point. Yeah, we KO another 5 costs. We're playing Nami. We forgot at this point we did a big play mistake. I think it wouldn't change a lot, but big play mistake. We played the Nami. We saw we could KO another 5 costs, but we don't have any card with a trigger because you need to discard a trigger card, and Gedatsu doesn't have a trigger. So yeah, going with Enel and a 5 cost. He has 5 cards. Of course he can counter out. He counter out of the 8k, so we know this is our end. We actually drawing a beige, Capone beige, which is really nice. You always want to see it in your last life, but yeah, it's not enough. It's too many attacks. We don't have any chance at this point. Yeah, GG's. We couldn't do anything. Like, this was the best possible way probably for the Reiju. He really got everything that he needed, and yeah, at this point no chance for us to kind of come back from this. We were just yeah, this is like the biggest weakness, and that's why I wanted to show you the gameplay, because at this point Enel is really vulnerable to early game pressure, early game attacks, especially if you go kind of wide. Like, he can get some big hits, but if you're having like the Reiju like 4 5 cost or 2 5 cost, 2 7 cost, is like you don't have a chance at this point, sadly. But every leader has his weakness, and yeah, this is Enel's. And yeah, now the last game, we're going into Black Yellow Luffy. We're taking the, maybe we're just taking the 1.5 speed. It's kind of like a long game. Maybe we take the 2 speed. We can pause if we need it. Okay, we are taking the first hand. Did we mulligan? Oh, I didn't even check that. No, we take the first hand. We're playing the Flampe, really nice. Drawing a card, getting a card from life. He's doing the same. We have to start, which is kind of sad, or not really sad, but yeah, it's kind of fine, I would guess. He could choose to go second, which is kind of nice. Black Yellow Luffy always want to go second to have the even numbers for his leader ability for the Gekko Maria. So now we can play the 5 cost on time, which is kind of nice. I was thinking about playing the Shirahoshi for the effect, because the early game is not really strong of the Black Yellow Luffy, and yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting +1, discarding 2 of our 5 cost Luffy's, because they can only KO 4 cost, and Black Yellow Luffy usually play, as you can see there, a lot of 5 cost. So it's not the strongest card. Nami is way better in this matchup. So we are thinking about playing the Nami. Probably a good idea, because for 7 cost we don't have much to do. Discarding a Capone beige. Playing the Flampe, strong. Drawing 1 card, getting 1 card from life, because Luffy will probably not attack into our life. Because we are both kind of similar leader, because we don't, we wanna lose our life kind of quickly, in a moderate way. Of course not 4 lives at 1 turn, but we wanna always use 1 life, 2 lives in 1 turn, and getting the advantage from the cards, and then we are usually shine from our leader ability as strong, yeah, or really strong at the last life, or at 0 lives for the Black Yellow Luffy. Yeah, what did he do? He's actually KOing our Flampe. For drawing a card, he's using his Luffy. Was maybe not the best play. I don't know why he did it. He could have waited a little longer. So now we're playing the Katakuri, which is a really strong card. We don't go into his life anymore. Like, he should trash the cards by his own effect. Because if we would attack, we would help him to lose his life, and he's getting the life cards. In this situation, he needs to do it by himself, which is also nice when he's using it, for example, by the Luffy, or also the Hiyori could be a option, or the Flampe to lose his life. Like, he has a lot of ways, way more than we have for losing his life. For this turn, yeah, we played the Katakuri. Strong card. For pushing our triggers also. It's not, you don't need to push the opponent's card back into his life. You can also push your own cards, and this is really nice, so we can use the Shirahoshi trigger again. Because she has no benefit on our board. And in this situation, for sure, we can use it again. Okay, I think he's kinda waiting and thinking about what he's doing with his last 5 In his situation, oh no, it's actually our turn. He just passed. Okay. Anyways, we are playing the ace. We don't get rush, which could have been in this situation kind of strong. I mean, we have an 8 cost and a 10 cost. We could have tried to go into life, but yeah, at this point, it doesn't matter. We would probably helped him losing his last life, and then he can use his leader ability. And he has so many cards on life. I think he's more than 12. He has for sure a lot of 2k counters, so we couldn't beat him in this turn. So that's why we're trying to play big characters, wait until he's using his leader ability, and then go into life. Okay, he's KOing, he's playing Reiju as well, he's KOing our big character Ace. We're using the Flampe, which is kind of nice. We don't know our life. For the Shirahoshi we couldn't use the Flampe, because then we didn't get the trigger. But now for the life we didn't know, for sure we would use it, and it was a really strong call. We got the Katakuri, which we want to see. The Yamato we cannot use actually, because we have so many lives. Wouldn't be as strong, yeah, because it would be just the 9k beat stick. Or maybe the KO we could have used, but I'm not sure actually if you can use the KO without putting a card into life. Probably, but yeah, as there were also only 4 life, we couldn't KO the Luffy, and these cards KOing with the Yamato would be kind of a miss, I would guess. So we're playing the Katakuri way stronger, putting the Ice Age guy, I want to call him, Kuzan, back to life, especially at the bottom. So there's no trigger for him and no counter. He's losing the 4 Don he's spending for it. Oh, he did spend. And he cannot attack into us and give one of our characters a lot of minus. So this is kind of nice. Okay, we have a lot of 2Ks in hand, some Raigos which are strong. Actually, we don't have so much counter power. We also don't have the counter card. Okay, he's playing another Luffy and Kuzan. He's not using the he's actually not using the abilities of Luffy to treasure life, draw a card, and gain 2000, because he only had 1 Don. Then he couldn't use his leader ability and would be kind of, I would say, like kind of naked for us to go into his life, because he also don't have a blocker. So yeah, was maybe a good idea not to use both. Also, he can use it maybe later. Here in this situation, I'm not so sure if I actually should have KO'd the Kuzan or better KO one of the Luffys. I mean, the Kuzan also kind of strong to give one of our characters a lot of minus cost, and then he can use the other Luffy to KO one of our big characters. But on the other hand, this guy can trash 1 life, and so he's getting next turn for sure into his leader ability. Maybe can play a Gecko Moria, and then has 2 characters with 8 cost. The Gecko Moria and 2 other ones. So yeah, next turn could be really strong for him. So yeah, we're playing the Yamato. Still don't go into his life because he has way too many counters. Also, we have a lot of life cards, so actually we can chill in this position. We have some counters as well in our hand. We have some Raigos to KO big characters like Gecko Moria. Okay, anyways, he finds a way. He's playing kind of like a black card from the new structure deck. Where maybe a lot of people don't know this. I didn't know it at this point before as well. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -7 cost during this turn, and he's adding the top card of his life to his hand for 2 costs, which is actually kind of strong. Even number for him. He can play the Luffy, and yeah, at this moment or at this point of the game, he really needs to think about should he take the life or not, because otherwise he will be in a kind of bad position. We have 2 8Ks, 5K and our leader, and 10 Dons next turn. So yeah, he chooses to trash the card and draw a card, use the leader ability. I think this was the right call in this situation. But actually he cannot play one of his life cards, so yeah, we're just going in with 8. We want to see at this point Actually, it was really nice that he countered out. We could have, like, if we really wanted him to lose a life, we should have gave our Katakuri 1 Don, because then for sure 9 Don he probably would have lost the life, because he also have a lot of Luffys here. 3. That's why when he is losing the life, they will go under his deck, so he will lose this kind of big characters. So yeah, that's why probably he would have let it gone. But because and this was actually nice, because we attacked with 8, he countered out, and now we can play our Yamato, because he still have, Yamato is counting the life of our both lives, so 2 plus 3 is 5, and so we can owe one of the Luffys, and if he would have taken the life, then no way that we could have KO'd the Luffy, which would be really sad, because we don't have any ace at this point. So yeah, would have been a kind of bad situation as well for us with Yamato. Okay, we're trying to attack into life, getting some counters out. He's giving us some of the big 5k Sabos, which is nice for him, but also a little nice for us. I mean, losing life is good again. He used the Raigo for KOing our Yamato again. He actually don't want to use them for our Katakuri, but it's fine as well. We still have a Yamato. Yeah, he's using his Luffy to get the card out of his life here. He don't want to trash it, because I think it would go under his life as well. He's trashing an ace, also nice for him, but I think kinda, yeah, not the best character at this moment, especially because he don't have any life, any Don. Yeah, he's losing another Luffy, because he can afford to put this Luffy under his deck, and he wanna have the Sabo at the second life to maybe play it next turn if we don't go and attack through. Okay, we counter out of our Katakuri because out of the attack, because we really need our Katakuri. There's finally a counter card, which is kind of nice for us. If we don't use the Raigos, we can just discard it for the counter. Okay, what will we do at this point? We could, yeah, go into his Luffy and playing the Yamato out. Anyways, we will go into live. He's countering out. Really lucky for us again. We did the same mistake again, which is kind of sad. But anyways, it worked out for us. We're playing the Yamato. We can KO the Luffy and get our 2 attacks through. He still have 2 cards in life, which is half good and half bad. Depends on how much of the small characters he has in his hands. If you have a small Luffy, then it's fine. If you don't have a small Luffy, he's playing the Gecko Moria, which is also nice. So he can play the small Luffy from his trash, getting the card of his life, because he could also be stuck in his life, which is kind of hard for Luffy sometimes. So always need to be careful for this situation. Yeah, and at this point it's kind of sad, because we cannot KO his Gecko Moria with our Raigo. So yeah, he's playing the Sabo. We let our Katakuri go, because at this point we don't want to give him too many counters cards. Yeah, we're thinking about maybe attacking into life. He only has 3 cards in life left, so this is probably kind of good situation for us to get some card out of his hand, because we cannot KO anything out of his board anyways. So we're just using the cards that we can afford to lose. Taking with the Nami, our leader cannot be destroyed, and playing a blocker, which is also kind of nice, just to make sure that we're using our Don. And yeah, at this point he gives up, because he knew that next turn he will be in a bad position. We have still 3 lives. He could go into our lives, but the real fight with Enel starts when he only have 1 life. So for sure he would need this turn for getting into 1 life, and then he would have needed another turn to get into our life. And he still needed to get rid of his life cards, because otherwise he couldn't use his leader ability. And yeah, at this point he was in a kind of bad position, but I think also he gave up a little too early. He could have maybe used this Don on the Garb trying to attack into our life, getting some counter cards out of our life, using the Gecko Moria into our life, and maybe also the Luffy. Trash the card, draw a card, playing the Sabo to gain another one. But yeah, at this point there was only time thing before he lost. So yeah, this was kind of like a strong game for Enel, for our game, even if we did some small mistakes. I think here you could see kind of good why Enel is kind of strong, and especially in the late game he can outpace a lot of characters, so and a lot of leaders. So yeah, this was our last game. Oops, I kind of pushed it behind our One Piece character, but anyways, behind our One Piece game, not the character. Yeah, this is our deck list. What would I've done maybe differently? I'm not so sure. There are a lot of different options. Playing maybe some high characters with no on-play effect, for example, would be strong, especially against Marshall D. Teach. There are a lot of yellow characters you could play. Maybe playing one less Raigo. Sometimes it's really strong, especially if you're playing against the big characters. But if you're playing something like Doflamingo, for example, they don't have, maybe Jozu with a 6 cost is the biggest one. So maybe you don't need 4, maybe 3 or 2 are fine. But you can also discard them for the counter. So I feel like this card is really important. Capone Beige didn't really came up for us, but it's still a really strong trigger, so I would keep it. Maybe you can have 1 or 2 less blockers. Maybe playing more Frankies for the trigger cards. In general, we don't have so much triggers. Maybe we can go a little bit less on the 5 cost. Maybe some less of Monkey D. Luffy. Some, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1 less of the Nami. It would have been nice if we have like more triggers. For example, this one would be like a flat character, 7 cost without any on-play effect. But could be also strong to have a little bit more trigger cards, which play themselves out, like Neko Mamushi, for example, or the Jewelry Bonnie for drawing some cards. There are a lot of cards which you can use into your Enel. So yeah, I feel like it's a really strong deck, still a really strong leader in general. I feel like especially for some new players, for example, maybe it could be a strong deck to get into the game. Of course, it has a lot of expensive cards, like this card is maybe 17 euros at the moment, kind of, or maybe kind of 20, close to 20-ish dollars. And Katakuri got a reprint, but still 7 euros, or I think it's around $10 or $11 in America. So still kind of not a cheap deck, I would say. The Reiju, for example, is way cheaper. So I feel like also this card, because it's of EB01, yeah, this set is kind of expensive. So yeah, in general, kind of strong deck. A lot of fun to play, but be careful from early pressuring characters. Okay, yeah. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.